17 April 2018, Southwest Flight 1380, piloted by Tammy Jo Schultz and co-piloted by Darren Alser, departed LaGuardia Airport, New York at 10:43 in the morning. Its final destination was Love Field, Dallas. 20 minutes into the flight, a fan blade shears off the center of the engine, goes through a window in the side of the aircraft, and hits a passenger in the head, sitting in row 14. The passenger is then sucked out of the window up to her waist. Her name was Jennifer Royden. She's a 43-year-old mother of two and Wells Fargo executive. Two fellow passengers rush to her aid and pull her back into the aircraft. Then the flight attendants go on to start CPR on her. Meanwhile, the pilot and the co-pilot make arrangements for an emergency landing at the Philadelphia airport. Immediately when something like this happens, a business needs to start damage control. Southwest Airlines is a customer service-oriented business. Public opinion matters. So that means that their image matters. And an incident has happened, so they need to start on image repair. Someone's been hurt, and someone needs to be held responsible. Crisis communication is the theory of image restoration after a crisis situation. Many companies have emergency response teams in place in case of an incident because the public needs to be addressed. First, that evening, the first responders held a press conference. The National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB chairman, Robert Shumwalt, went on to have a press conference where he was joined by the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA. He expressed mortification by giving his condolences for the friends and family of the passenger that had passed away. Then he went on to explain that the NTSB and the FAA were third-party entities that had no alliances to Southwest Airlines, that they were federal agencies appointed specifically to investigate. So by doing this, he expressed a form of denial by being a member of the company that had committed or is responsible for the incident. Finally, he went on to explain his plan to investigate the incident to prevent any further aircraft-related fatalities. This is a form of corrective action. Later that evening, Gary Kelly can be quoted as saying, "On behalf of the Southwest family, I would like to express our deepest sympathies for the family of the loved ones of our deceased passenger." This is an example of mortification. He is giving his condolences to the family. He is expressing his sadness. Then he goes on to say, "We are giving the National Transportation Safety Board our full support. The safety of our customers and crew are always our uncompromising priority." This is a form of corrective action or an expression of corrective action. He's trying to explain to his customers or future customers that he wants to openly help the investigation process so that no further incidences can happen. The outcome of this particular incident is that Southwest Airlines activated their crisis response team. The FAA issued an emergency maintenance action on all engines with 30,000 cycles or more to be done within 20 days. 34 aircraft were grounded on Thanksgiving Eve. All passengers that were on Flight 1380 received a $5,000 check for compensation and a $1,000 check and free Southwest Airlines travel. And on a personal note, I would like to say that for those of us that have worked in the aircraft industry, unfortunately, incidences like this is just a part of doing business. I believe that Robert Shumwalt, the NTSB chairman, and Gary Kelly, the Southwest Airlines CEO, handled this very appropriately and handled it the same way I would. The public needs to know that this is going to be investigated and that there are going to be preventive measures put in place to make sure it did not happen again. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice evening.